You're listening to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. I'm Ryan Hill.
I'm John Galantis.
You can find us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions for Dr. Shah or suggestions for new topics, send us a text to 252-582-5028, or you can visit us online, or you can email us at contact@clearviewtodayshow.com.
That's right, and you guys can help us keep the conversation moving forward by supporting the show. You can share it online with your friends and family. Leave us a good 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify, anywhere you get your podcasting content from. We're going to leave a couple of links right there in the description, so you can do just that.
The verse of the day today is coming to you from 1 Kings chapter 8, verse 28. Yet regard the prayer of your servant and his supplication, O Lord my God, and listen to the cry and the prayer which your servant is praying before you today.
And that's one of the things that really stand out to me about the Christian life, is that God does hear our prayer. It's a prayer to God to hear our prayers, but He always hears them, and
right.
it's His. We talked about this on yesterday's verse of the day, how the Holy Spirit prays for us, but also we pray for ourselves, and God hears our prayer. It says in Hebrews, I think, that God is the one who searches our hearts. He knows our prayers before we even ask them, and yet He wants us to ask Him. One
of my favorite verses in the Bible comes from the book of Exodus, and it's when the people of Israel are groaning and crying out to God, and they are, the Hebrews are praying and asking God to intervene and rescue them from slavery. And it says that God saw the affliction of His people, and He heard their cries, and He knew.
That's right.
And it's beautiful to me that the creator of the universe, sometimes we think about God, who's infinitely bigger than we are. He's got big picture problems to worry about. He doesn't care about my little issues in my life.
Right.
But the opposite is true. God cares about us. He knows us intimately. He loves us, and He wants what's best for us.
That's right. That's right. We have a lot of fun on the Clearview Today show. We make a lot of jokes, and we have a lot of fun.
Sure.
But sometimes it's time to kind of focus in and get serious.
Oh.
And so, sometimes that leads to things like when you have to confront a friend, when you have to maybe have an intervention. And Ryan, I'm glad that you're here with us today. I want to just thank you for meeting us here in the studio.
Wait a minute. Is this an intervention for me?
This might feel a little bit overwhelming, but please understand that I'm here, David is here, Nicholas is here because we care about you.
Hold on. What's happening?
This is a safe space, and we want to have an open and honest conversation. We've noticed over the past few months,
Sure,
you've displayed interesting stylistic choices. Your shoes are an American flag. Presently, orange t-shirt and kind of nice jacket.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Like a nice sports coat.
Yeah.
With a Clearview branded t-shirt.
Sure. Clearview Church.
And it doesn't help. And I know that today, I'm not talking about today, but lots of Hawaiian shirts.
Yep. Silly socks.
Silly socks I could deal with that. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm worried about how much you're going through, and I miss the times where you dressed like a normal human being.
When were those times?
You didn't wear outlandish shoes, so one shoe is blue with stars,
one shoe is
all stars
one
over
shoe
it.
is stripes, right?
The other shoe is red and white, like Where's Waldo stripes.
Sure.
And so I'm trying to...
Because America.
Right. And then, there's been a lot of Hawaiian shirts. Like, you wouldn't deny there's been a very big uptick in Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah. Hawaiian shirts with flamingos. I've got a shirt with, origami swans on it.
And then today, the T-shirt, and I'm not saying that you look bad in any of this stuff. You are pulling it off. It's odd behavior. It's not Clearview Today behavior. And so I'm trying to figure out what's happened. Is this a midlife crisis? Is this something that...
I hope it's not a midlife crisis.
Yeah.
35 doesn't need to be the middle of my life.
I'm just trying to figure out what's going on, because I've seen how your behavior is starting to affect your appearance. And this is kind of the part of the intervention where I'd like to invite you to speak. Do we have a talking stick?
A talking stick?
This is the talking hat.
This is the talking hat. Okay.
And you can wear that.
Can I have the talking hat?
Whoever's wearing the talking hat is free to express whatever they like.
Okay. Do you feel as though my attire has negatively impacted the Clearview Today show?
I haven't gotten any texts.
Okay.
I haven't gotten any emails.
No, I'm talking about you personally.
Oh. Me?
Yes.
I'm distracted.
You're distracted?
I'm going to take a look at the shoes.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know that.
Has it affected the quality of the work that I do or the what I bring to the show?
No, I wouldn't say that.
Okay.
I wouldn't say that. This is an intervention for odd behavior, not
Right.
necessarily harmful behavior.
Right. Is my behavior distressing you?
Yeah, I think so. And again, I'm just following the script here. We're not here to judge or criticize you.
The script.
We want to help you get through this.
Right.
David especially.
Well, I would
And
just
Nicholas.
like to. Can I take this off now?
Yeah.
This is really
I'll
hindering my
take care of the
worship here. I would like to cite the example of the silly socks.
Sure.
I am the one, and I think you'll agree with me.
Yes.
I am the one that brought silly sock culture to Clearview.
It's true. I'm wearing silly socks presently.
I am the one who initiated silly sock culture amidst harsh criticism, amidst deep digs at my my character, my integrity.
Sure.
I persevered,
Right.
and I think that we are all better for it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I didn't mention the silly socks in the intervention.
And you didn't. I appreciate that. So I would just like to say that I am comfortable with who I am and how I dress, albeit silly. And I apologize if that offends you, but I will not stop.
Well, we didn't get a change of behavior, but we did get an apology, and for today, that's going to have to do. I'd love to bring Dr. Shah in on this because
To handle the intervention.
he also cares about you,
He does.
and I think we should just get his wisdom on this issue.
Well,
and
let's
maybe
check
that's
with
all
him
there
and
is to say.
Let's check with him and see. Those of you who don't watch the video podcast, you have no idea what
You
we're
just
talking
got to imagine that he's dressed oddly and has been dressing oddly for.
I would
a bit.
say funky.
Okay, yeah, funky.
Funky.
Yeah, that's
I
fine.
would say funky.
Yeah, that's fine. It's garish. It's something you might wear at a dress up night at Awana.
You might.
but on a work day.
Sure. And I think that's fine. Write in and let us know your thoughts. 252-582-5028 or visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. We'll be right back after this.
What's going on, listeners? My name is John,
And I'm David.
and we hope you are enjoying the podcast thus far.
You know, we really appreciate how many of you download the podcast every day.
Right.
But we also want to remind you that we are first and foremost a radio show.
Clearview Today is actually syndicated through the Truth Network, and we just want to let you know right now that in addition to hosting the all-time best Christian talk show of all time,
Hashtag Clearview Today.
hashtag Clearview Today, the Truth Network also, as it turns out, has an extensive library of Christian programming.
We really love everything they're doing at the Truth Network because the whole goal is to encourage, challenge, confront, and uplift listeners with the life-changing truth of Jesus Christ through Christian Talk Radio.
And listen, we know we are not the only show wanting to expand its audience. So if you have a vision for your show or for your ministry, why don't you consider syndicating your show through the Truth Network? Because they rely on decades of experience of self-syndication with a full array of features for your long-form or short-form content.
Make sure you visit the Truth Network online today at truthnetwork.com, or you can give them a call at 336-759-0363. Again, that's 336-759-0363. Well, John, are you ready?
I was born ready, my friend. Let's hop right back in.
All right.
Welcome back to Clearview Today with Dr. Abadan Shah, the daily show that engages mind and heart for the gospel of Jesus Christ. You can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com, or if you have any questions or suggestions for new topics, send us a text, 252-582-5028.
That's right. And we're here once again in the Clearview Today studio with Dr. Abadan Shah, who's a PhD in New Testament textual criticism, professor at Carolina University, author, full-time pastor, and the host of today's show. Dr. Shah, we were talking about Ryan's really weird midlife crisis that he seems to be going through, really quarter-life crisis, I would say, with the shoes, the Hawaiian
Life
shirts.
crisis. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, absolutely. There's been the Hawaiian shirts that are starting to happen. The
Sure.
shoes. I don't know if
Sure.
you have been able to peep Ryan's shoes today, Dr. Shah, but they're very
I love it.
Hey, American
Patriotic.
dudes. So
Love
what I
it.
love most about these is one is stars and one is stripes.
But, and,
It's not they don't match per se, but they are a match set.
and he will wear them forever, so that it's the stars and stripes forever.
Of
I like
course.
them a
I
lot.
mean, in
Absolutely.
this context, If you just give me that one first.
Yeah.
That looks like.
Oh, you were actually going to hand it to him?
No, I was holding it up.
I mean, I don't mind holding it. It's the bottom. It looks like a
looks
little
like Where's
bag
Waldo?
of popcorn at the state fair.
Kinda,
Yep.
yeah. Or like a
Yeah.
diner,
Yeah.
diner
And the other one-
employee's
Other
outfit.
one, this one looks like you're at the Patriots game. I don't know.
Now, are there 50 stars? I didn't even ask this before. Are there 50 stars?
goodness,
Did you
no.
count that?
No,
I don't think so.
no. It is not accurate to the flag. No, it's just meant to draw your attention to the greatness of America.
What made you wear it today of all days?
I don't know.
Just some American
just feeling
American
patriotic
apparel.
today.
Yeah, the spirit.
Cool. I love it. I love it. Well, I guess
feeling
that.
patriotic.
Well, that kind of leads us into our brand new segment. You want to introduce it, Ryan?
Absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the Clearview Current,
baby.
where we cut through the chaos of today's headlines with a clear Christian perspective. We're here to keep you up to date on what's going on in the world, big or small. Dr. Shah, last week, all anybody could talk about was the DNC.
Yeah.
It was
That was
everywhere.
that
all
was on
over the news.
everybody's feed, everybody's news, everybody's For You page. It was just blown up.
I know. And I mean, we can talk about it. So many things. I thought it was a mess.
Oh yeah.
But one thing that bothered me more than anything else was Planned Parenthood bringing their free abortion bus, and parked it, just a block away. Get your free abortions while you're here.
Gross.
And they call us weird.
Yeah.
They're calling conservatives weird. That's
I mean, they're
odd.
making statements, but to make a statement like that,
Yeah.
There would be an outcry if
Yeah.
somebody parked and was like, hey, we just want to share the gospel with people. There would be an
Yeah.
outcry against
Right.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But an abortion bus is fine.
yeah. I mean, it's
Ridiculous.
terrible. And so, and I know right now a lot of people are debating: is this an issue we're standing for? Here's what I would say: so don't walk away from things that God has said that is important.
That's right.
Life matters. So stand for life and just know that God is in control. If we kind of, put God on the side and say, we got to win this, let's put God away. Don't do that. In fact, put pressure on people to make sure that right to life, okay, the baby's life matters.
That's right.
And whether born or unborn, it matters. And stand for those truths. And I think that is what God is standing for.
Right. 100%.
That's what God believes in. And so that's just one of the things that I found was offensive, low class, if I can say low class.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Putting it over there.
Absolutely.
100%.
And trying to tout it as this is the women's right to choose. I mean, come on. That's what, no.
It seems like even just in politics in general or anything in the political sector that we've gone from, Republican, Democrat were separate parties for a while, but there was this sense of class, this sense of decorum.
Yeah, there was
And
there.
now it's just,
It's devolved.
Yeah.
It's completely
It's just
devolved into
terrible.
something that's unrecognizable, and yet at the same time, everybody flocks to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it's not even that people find it weird or people find it odd. They love it.
Yeah.
They absolutely love it, and they eat it up. And this is what American politics has become.
Right, unfortunately. And I hope that we as Americans, no matter what color you are, no matter what part of the country you come from, if you care about this nation, if you care about the future of our nation, study the issues, study the history of this nation. I'm from India. I don't, I didn't grow up here, but having studied and having understood what the foundation of our nation is all about, I want to ensure that this nation continues for a long time to come.
That's right. That's right.
So don't buy into what people feed you, or sometimes media will throw at you and saying, "Oh, they're all against you." I had a guy tell me that. It's like, you know. I mean, you're supporting issues that, they don't like you. I'm like, who said that? I said, I'm sure there are people out there who don't like me, but for that reason, am I going to say, well, I'm going to go to the other side that believes in abortion, or the other side that does all? No. Don't buy into that lie.
That's right.
By the way, that's not true.
That's true.
Once you go to some of those meetings, you go, wow, these are people who actually love this nation. They're glad I'm here. They're glad we're all here.
right.
And I'm glad you bring up the topic of abortion, because that's one of the chapters in your new book that we just put out, 30 Days Praying for America. I actually want to plug that book right now, because I think more than ever, as we're approaching this 2024 election,
Yes.
people are looking for some sort of resource to help guide them, because when you look at the news, there's no guiding light.
Right.
There's there's no path forward. And so I think a lot of people are searching for it. So we do want to plug this book that Dr. Shah and his wife Nicole have written, 30 Days Praying for America. It's on it's available on Amazon right now. We're working on the Audible version as we speak, but you should really get it because there's chapters on abortion, there's chapters on this nation's history, revisionist history. There's lots and lots of things. And a lot of those things we can talk about on upcoming episodes
That's
of
right.
the Clearview Current.
That's right. And that's a wrap for today's edition of the Clearview Current. Thanks for tuning in and staying connected with us as we navigate this crazy world's events together. Until next time, keep your hearts lifted, your minds sharp, and your spirit joyful.
That was good
Did
to
y'all
write.
come up with that?
That was good to write. I wrote it and I was like, this is really cheesy. And then I started to hit backspace. I was like, nah, it needs to be kind of
leave
cheesy.
it.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody likes a little cheese.
Well, look, as we go on, we did get a message today. So, Ryan, I hate to do 2 theme songs in 1 minute, but I think you know what time it is, my friend. We're going to have a musical
2 theme
episode
songs
today.
in 1 minute.
Hit it, my friend.
Here's the mail, it never fails. It makes me want to wag my tail. When it comes, I want to wail.
Mail. This is from Jane G. Jane G. What do you think the G stands for?
Green sleeves.
Oh, that's funny because her name actually is Jane.
Oh.
Maybe we bleep that. Well, maybe we should bleep that.
Wait a minute. What?
Yeah, and her phone number is 919. No, I'm just joking.
Wait.
Okay, so she wrote in and she said, "Praise the Lord, I have heard your ministry on the Truth Network. It is good you are doing all you can to share the Jesus. It is good you are doing all you can to have Jesus Christ light shine and being the hands and feet of Jesus Christ." That was all. Yeah, she just wanted to
really?
encourage us.
Jane?
Yeah, thank you, Jane.
Thank
that.
you.
Appreciate you.
Thank you. I was working out a couple of days ago. A gentleman came up to me and said, I love it. I love it. Keep doing it. I said, oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you. I didn't know what he was referring to. It's like, man, it's so funny. It is so funny. Y'all come up with stuff all the time. I mean, it's just you never know what you're going to get. Oh, you're talking about the show. I'm like, yes.
And the reps, my form.
I don't know what he's talking about.
It is kind of funny because the impact, you don't see it. You know, when you're on the radio, you produce 5 episodes a week, you turn them in, and then you immediately start producing next week's episodes.
So you don't keep moving.
You don't see the impact. And so a lot of times when people come up to us, especially I know people come up to you a lot, but it's not just here in this town. You know what I'm saying?
I was
Even
in,
when you travel.
Greenville.
Yeah.
North Carolina.
2 hours away.
2 hours away, and people came up and said, I know you. And one was like, I thought you were much older. I was like, thank you.
Thank you.
I said, you look so young. You were like up, what she said, you were right there. She said, you would just jump up on the stage.
You hopped up on stage and you were just bebopping around.
Yeah, that's exactly what she said. I was like, oh, thank you for saying that. I mean, I feel great now.
It's really awesome, and we love to read these comments on the air. We want you guys to keep sharing these with us because not only do they make us feel good, but they also let us know that God is working, God is moving.
Right.
And Dr. Shah, I know that's your heart as well, is that
That's right.
God would speak through this
That's right.
this radio
Yes.
show.
Yes. Always good to hear from people on the other side of the camera. You know, sometimes when we're looking at a lens or we're just kind of in the room with each other, we don't always know like how the things that we're saying are landing or, you know, if it's resonating with you. So when we get those texts from Jane, thank you very much, Jane, or when we meet people like the lady that we met in Greenville, I mean, it's encouraging. It's exciting to know that, you know, the Clearview Today show is having an impact on people and leading people toward the gospel.
And I know that was the vision all along. In fact, Dr. Shah, do you want to, since we're doing a bunch of new segments and we're starting new things, do you want to sort of talk about the heart and the vision behind the Clearview Today show?
Yes. Okay, so those who know me know that I did my bachelor's in broadcast journalism. And that was sort of a default because I didn't want to go into ministry. Right. Not that I was against it. It just felt like this is such a high calling. I saw my dad. I saw the sacrifices he made, and I saw his commitment and his love for the Lord and love for the people, love for his family, his own spiritual life, his walk in holiness. And I was like, that's definitely not me. Not that I don't think I should be that way, a godly person. I just don't have his way of thinking about life and about sin and about holiness and people and evangelism. But, you know, so I went into college, and this was a Christian college, and instead of going into the some Christian vocation, I chose broadcast journalism. And I learned and that I actually liked this field. I mean, it was great, covering elections, running a campus radio station, those kind of things. So it was already in my system that media can be fun, media can be captured for the glory of God. Media needs to be captured, and there are a lot of great people who've done wonderful things. Pat Robertson is one of them. Who the 700 Club. What a great ministry he left behind, and there are others who have done wonderful things. Some. I don't know. I'm not that. I don't enjoy their style of ministry on media as much. We're talking about TV evangelist type stuff, but many have done a great job, and so always wanted to capture that. Until just about a few years ago, I tossed that idea to our team, and they went along with it. It was called Carpe Mañana. And we did that for like 4 or 5 years, and people loved it. It was different. It was for a lot of people talking instead of just me. And then 2 years ago, God gave us this opportunity.
Yes.
And we felt like it was time. He was preparing us. He was preparing me like 30 years ago, but he was preparing us to put this talk show, podcast, even on YouTube, to really give people something to look forward to, something they can learn from, something that will inform them, something that is funny at the same time, something that is challenging to the mind and encouraging to the heart. We felt like they need that.
That's right.
And I asked John, this was when the whole thing began, I said, you're going to have to be the one behind it. I spent a lot of time thinking and praying over it. When this whole thing came about, I was like, I think it's going to be you.
And at the time...
You remember that?
I do. I remember that conversation. We were sitting in the office because we had a radio interview on the Truth Network that the owner of the entire network heard Dr. Shah and said, I want him on the radio show. He said, I don't care. I said, we were like, we went out to a couple lunches and we said, what's the show? He said, I don't care what the show is. I want him. And I was like, that's a good feeling. So we started talking about it. And at the time we were, because Carpe Mañana was a weekly show. So of course I'm thinking status quo. I'm like, absolutely. Yeah. But things kept kind of escalating and we kept meeting with Mr. Stu Epperson, and he was like, I think this needs to be a daily show. And I was like, oh, well, yeah, of course that's not going to happen. No, the answer is no.
Obviously no.
But one thing that you know about Dr. Shah is we are people of yes, which doesn't mean we're just like Jim Carrey's yes man, but it means that we're going to take that challenge.
Right.
And that was tough because I was like, there's no way that this is going to happen. And God was like, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Yeah.
And I remember talking with Dr. Shah and coming to that decision and being like, okay, I don't have the answer. I don't have a game plan in front of me, but yes, let's do a daily show.
I just knew John had the mind to think, the creativity, to make it interesting and engaging, funny, at the same time serious. I knew it would happen. And so... I mean, here we are.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It encourages me because I would like to, if you're okay with it, kind of bring up a conversation that we had even a couple of days ago off mic. But it was one of those things, and I think a lot of creative people, especially in Christian communities, feel this way, where you put all your eggs in one basket. Like for us, it might have been Carpe Mañana, or it might have been an EP that we tried to make, or it might have been this book.
Right.
And you're like, this is the one. This is the one that God is preparing me for. And it sees a little bit of success, but it's clearly not the one. And we were outside the new build, our new sanctuary that we're building now, and we were talking, and Dr. Shah, you said something like, we get disappointed in those small successes, and we think, well, that wasn't the one. But could it be that God is using those small successes to build up something that is much, much bigger than we can even imagine right now?
And if I can tweak what you just said, it's not just all these small things add up to something big. I would say it's not just that small things add up and now they are big, but small things come together to give us something very different that we didn't imagine would come to these things come together. Like, for example, if I were to take bunch of Legos and bring them all together, all these little pieces, well, there's a bigger Lego. That's not what we're talking about.
Right.
We're talking about these small pieces of Lego coming together to give us a battleship.
Yeah.
You know,
Wow.
it's like, how do we go from these to this? It doesn't make sense, but these had to happen for this to happen. But I don't understand how that works.
Yeah, I don't want just a
Yeah.
big pile of Legos.
Yeah, that's not what we're trying to do.
Yeah, or one like these many Legos to give us one big Lego.
Yeah,
no,
right.
No, this is something
That's not what we're
different
talking
entirely.
Yeah, entirely different.
Yeah.
And yet those small pieces of Legos somehow brought us to this point of this big battleship.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point.
That's what I think has happened here.
I love
And
that.
it's happening.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
That's such a great reminder for us to be faithful in the small things. You know, sometimes we think we need that instantaneous success or that kind of flash in the pan moment where we're like, wow, this is the next big great thing. But we need to be faithful in those small moments to be ready for the big.
I think
moments as well.
especially in Christianity, because we see so much other churches or other Christian ministries that seem to have had an idea, executed it well, and got super successful.
Right.
And we think that's what the formula is. I got to have this new, fresh idea that no one's thought of.
And I think it's naive to even think that that's what happened for them.
Yeah.
Could it be behind the scenes they also had their small pieces of Lego?
Yeah.
And then it came together. I don't care if they write a book on it. Their book may be wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
Just because somebody puts out a memoir that says, this is how I got from here to here, it's not often that I say, oh, I need to read that because I think what if they got it wrong?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Or what if they didn't even write it?
Yeah.
Right.
So they did, get successful, but their description or their understanding of what it took to get there may be completely flawed. And I think many times it is.
Yeah.
That's what causes a lot of frustration to people. Like let me kind of go off over here. Charles Spurgeon. Charles Spurgeon became very successful. I mean, at very early age, like in his, teenage years, he was preaching really powerful sermons. In his 20s, he is pastoring in London, Park Street pulpit, Metropolitan Tabernacle, and it's like, wow. Generations of preachers since that time, this is the 1860s, they thought, okay, I want to be the Charles Spurgeon. The sooner I get into the ministry, the sooner I start this, and sooner I do that, and go from the village to the big city, and that's where the big crowd is, and I can do this, and this. And it didn't work out that way. What they forgot, and even Charles Spurgeon may have talked about how he went from here. I don't think he did. I think he had a very different understanding of his own success. But even if he did write a book on how I went from the small little village boy to the big pastor of Metropolitan Tabernacle, London, I wouldn't believe it. What really happened is that he grew up in a home where they were strong Christians. He was hearing messages very early in life.
Yeah.
His love for Puritan and theology was very early inculcated in his heart. What happened is that Charles Spurgeon was a very focused person. I mean, he was very focused, very hardworking. That sort of also became his death. I mean, he died at, 57 years of age? So to think that, okay, if we just do this, we're going to be here.
Right.
That's not what happened to Charles Spurgeon. Charles Spurgeon was anointed by God. Charles Spurgeon had a heart that was very big, a heart for God, heart for the lost, heart for teaching God's word. I mean, all that had to come together.
That's a great point.
The same thing with us. It's not just doing tons of shows, so now we can do the big one. No, I think God is working.
Amen. And I think He's working in us, as a team, but also as individuals. And that's something that you constantly remind me of. I think all of you guys constantly remind me of that, is the work that we're doing. And I lose sight of this. And I think a lot of people similar to me lose sight of this, is also building me as a person. Whatever books that we write or albums that we write or songs that we write, if I'm not the Christian I'm supposed to be, they're not going to have the impact.
Right.
No matter how excellent.
And even if it does have an impact, it's because of my hard work, because of my intuition, and because of my insight. It's God's not in it.
Yeah.
I mean, Paul talks about that. He talks about, we did not come to you in wisdom. We did not come to you with lofty words. We came to you in foolishness. What he's saying is we came kind of broken, and yet God used our brokenness to bring you the gospel.
Great point. Great
Which is
point.
foolishness to the Greeks, and but to you is the power of God.
I love it.
Wow. God used our brokenness to bring you the gospel. That's beautiful. What would you say, Dr. Shah, in the few minutes that we have left, to someone who's listening? Maybe they are, headed toward ministry or in that ministry mindset, but they're just kind of feeling, discouraged that they haven't made that big break, I guess, or they feel like they're just kind of spinning their wheels, not making much progress, either in their personal life or in a ministry setting.
The pattern throughout history, throughout biblical history, has been weakness to strength. It's not about how good I'm getting and how better I am than what I used to be and how smart I am or how more articulate I am today and how I can really connect with people now versus what I used to be. All those things you should be working on. You should be working on your delivery. You should be working on your knowledge. You should be sharpening those skills. Absolutely. But if you think that's what is the source of your power, you're greatly mistaken.
That's right.
Or gravely mistaken.
Yeah.
It's really weakness.
Yeah.
God uses the person who is weak.
Amen.
Wow. So good for us. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, write in and let us know, 252-582-5028. Or you can visit us online at clearviewtodayshow.com. Don't forget, you can partner with us financially on that same website. Scroll to the bottom, click that donate button, and let us know it's coming from our Clearview Today Show family. Lots of great content coming your way the rest of this week. Make sure you guys tune in. We love you guys. We'll see you tomorrow on Clearview Today.